Hello students. Let's start the geography of Chhattisgarh. Me, Kranti sir, will teach you the whole Chhattisgarh subject in English medium. Now, what's the reason behind it? The reason is that if you are belonging to the English medium student, so I know it very well that there is a problem for you all to translate the Chhattisgarh subject from Hindi to English. Because most of the authentic sources which belongs to the Chhattisgarh subject are only in Hindi language, especially the books from Chhattisgarh Hindi Granth Academy. And this is the reason me will provide you the solution of this problem so that the moment you do the study for CGPSC or VYAPAM examination, there should not be a single type of doubt in your own preparation or the study, especially with regard to the language. So let's start our subject, Chhattisgarh. So today I'll deal you a small topic, but a conceptual topic, my dear. And this conceptual topic is the geographical location of Chhattisgarh. Now, tell me, answer, how will you locate yourself? Then definitely you will give me an answer that, sir, I'll locate myself or my home with respect to the coordinate geometry. Means you will give me the position of your home with respect to the any kind of landmark, with respect to the any kind of pin code, or with respect to the street number, name of district, post office, or the name of your state, Chhattisgarh. Now see here. To locate your own home, you are in requirement of this tremendous amount of data, the street number, your state name, your district name, the pin code, post office name, landmark. The same thing is in requirement to locate your own state, Chhattisgarh. But with respect to the geographical base, my dear. So how will you locate it? See here. To locate our Chhattisgarh, firstly, I'm going to draw a globe. Why? What's the reason behind it? See here. What's the reason behind it? That I am going to draw a globe of our Earth. Let me give the explanation behind this question. The only answer is that where the Chhattisgarh lies. I know it very well that Chhattisgarh lies in the India itself. But India lies where? On the earth. And to locate your India or the Chhattisgarh, you need to show the location of your Chhattisgarh with respect to the globe first. Then only you can give the latitude and longitude position, my dear. Now I know it. The question continuously are arising in your mind, sir, what do you mean by latitude and longitude? It's the first time for me to read the geography after class 10. If especially you belongs to the mathematics background or the bio background or the commerce background. So don't worry, I'll teach you each and every concept, my dear. Firstly, I'm going to write down the topic name as geographical location of Chhattisgarh. Geographical location of state Chhattisgarh. Now see here. See this globe. Firstly, you have to draw a equator line. Now, what do you mean by an equator line? See the diagram. This line separates the globe into a two part, and the angle of this line having a name equator is 0 degree. So what is the value? 0 degree. The name of this line is equator, my dear. Equator. So how will you define an equator? Equator is a kind of imaginary line which separates the whole earth into a two part. Okay. And now why we are drawing this imaginary line? Just to locate any point or the position and nothing else, my dear. Okay. And this equator line is also known as latitude. What I am saying? Latitude. Okay. Now see here. Another imaginary line I am going to draw which are parallel to this equator. Why? Because there is a need to locate your Chhattisgarh. Okay. See here. And you have already read in your class 10 to locate any single point you need two coordinates. Remember your class 10th? Coordinate geometry. Are you remembering or not? In your class 10th, you have already read. See here. What you have read? You have read that there is a y-axis. Now there is a x-axis. And teacher at that time was saying you that locate point P with 4,2. So what you did at that time? Remember the class 10th or the 9th? You put a scale, marked a position 4 in this x-axis and a position 2 on this y-axis. And after that, you draw a dotted line like this. And the point where these two dotted lines, vertical and horizontal, are meeting, this point shows what? P with respect to 4 and 2. And these 4 and 2 are what? These are the coordinates. Means, my dear, to locate a single point, you need at least two coordinates. And this is the reason to locate our state Chhattisgarh, we also in need to have at least two coordinates. And these two coordinates are nothing but right now, with respect to the geography, we are seeing it as the latitude and longitude. Just like here, x-axis and y-axis. Okay, now see here. That's why I'm drawing an imaginary line. So before drawing the imaginary line, consider our state Chhattisgarh. Here, see here. See, please see here. Here it is, our state Chhattisgarh, like this, my dear. Approximately like this. Here it is Garyaban, and this one is your Chhattisgarh. Okay. Now why I'm drawing it so? Just wait for a minute. I will clear each and every doubt. Now see. Here it is your Chhattisgarh. Okay. Now draw an imaginary line which is going to pass from the Chhattisgarh, from the upper part of it, like this. Here it is. Okay, dear. And the name of this line is Tropic of Cancer. The name is what? Tropic of Cancer. Okay. And the value is 23.5 north. Why it is so called, or why I am using an abbreviation N? The reason behind it, that this line is in a northern side or the northern part of this equator. This is the reason we are using N as an abbreviation for north. Okay. Now the second line I'm drawing below to this equator. Below to this equator. Okay. Now what is the name of it? The name is Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. Now see either the Tropic of Capricorn. What is the value of it? Again, the value is same. The difference is that it lies below to the equator. That's why you have to use S, the abbreviation for south. Okay, the value is same. 23 degree 1 by 2 south. No. Here, please. Always you have to keep a fact in your mind that Earth, this is the globe. In this Earth, the lines which we have drawn right now, these all are the imaginary lines. They are not the real lines. They all are what? Imaginary lines. So these imaginary lines, which right now we have drawn parallel to each other in a horizontal manner, is called the latitude. So these lines are called as what? Latitude, my dear. Okay. So somewhere here I am writing latitude. These all are what? Latitude. Okay, dear. Now, always you have to keep one more fact in your mind, that sun changes its position only in between this Tropic of Cancer to Capricorn and from Capricorn to Cancer. If I'll give you the example of today's scenario, so today is the month of March 2025, and you know it's a time of summer. So actually, at the time of summer, the sun having its position approximately on top of this Cancer, Tropic of Cancer. This is the reason why we, the Indians, are facing a kind of hotness. And that's why we are saying that this month is summer, because of the position of sun right now in this Tropic of Cancer. And at the time of coldness, means of winter, the sun will change its position from Tropic of Cancer to the Capricorn, and we will feel what? Coldness, winter season. So what's the conclusion you are getting? You are getting a conclusion that sun change its position season to season because of the revolution of what? Earth around the sun. Okay? From Tropic of Capricorn to Cancer and from Tropic of Cancer to Capricorn means this region having a continuously getting a solar radiations, my dear, continuously throughout the year. And since this position in between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn is continuously getting a sun rays throughout the year, that's why this area is hot in nature, having a highest temperature. What I'm saying? I'm giving the characteristic of this region, my dear. So this region is what? The character is that it is continuously getting throughout the year the solar radiation, means the light coming from the sun. And that's why the temperature, please see here, my dear, what I'm saying. Temperature of this position will always high. Temperature of this position will always high. So I'm writing here somewhere. Temperature always high in condition or max temperature. Since this position or this area having a maximum temperature, so you know it also one thing, if there is a maximum temperature, so there may be a case of much more evaporation, the case of evaporation of the water bodies. That's why this area having a much more humidity means high temperature or maximum temperature as well as high humidity. High humidity. High temperature, high humidity. And this is the climatic conditions having a high temperature and high humidity will provides us a different name. And the name of this region is tropical, my dear. What it's having a name? It's have the name tropical. Why? Because this red area is in between the two tropics, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, and having a maximum temperature or high temperature throughout the year because of having an incoming solar radiation continuously, whether it's a time of your winter or it's a time of your summer. The middle part of these two tropics, especially I'm talking about this one, equator region, having a maximum temperature or the high temperature with high humidity. And with the effect of it, the neighboring areas in between these two, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, also having the same characteristic of maximum temperature and high humidity. And since it is in between the two tropics, that's why there is the name tropical region. What its name? Tropical region. Always remember, tropical region. So this tropical region having a characteristic of high temperature and high humidity. So what kind of climate you are getting here? You are getting a climate with the name tropical climate. What climate you are getting? Tropical climate. Why? Because it is in between the two tropics with this characteristic, high temperature, high humidity. That's why this area having a climate named as tropical climate. Why you are seeing it as a climate but not as a season? It's just because climate means a geographical area where you are getting a same kind of specific characteristic with respect to the temperature, with respect to the rainfall, with respect to the coldness throughout the year continuously till 20 to 30 years, longer period of time you are getting the same kind of characteristic, then you may say that this geographical condition is known as climate. And since it is in between the two tropics, that's why you may consider it as tropical climate. Okay, now see the position of Chhattisgarh, my dear. The Chhattisgarh lies in between these two tropics, especially in between the equator. Here it is equator and Tropic of Cancer. That's why, my dear, the climate of Chhattisgarh is tropical climate. Okay, that's why the climate of Chhattisgarh is what? If someone asks to you that what is the climate of Chhattisgarh, climate of Chhattisgarh, then your answer should be what? Tropical climate, because it lies in between the two tropics, especially in between the tropics of Cancer and equator, having a characteristic of high temperature and high humidity with heavy rainfall also. Humidity means what? You are getting a heavy rainfall. And because of having a heavy rainfall, you know it, that there must be a water evaporation condition will be there, which creates the humidity within the environment, my dear. Okay. So here it is the answer. What is the climate of Chhattisgarh? So the climate of Chhattisgarh is nothing but the tropical climate because it lies in between the two tropics, especially in Tropic of Cancer and in between equator. The first answer about the climate. Okay, my dear. Now second. Second, see here. Then, sir, if it lies in between these two tropics, so there may be a case of monsoon also, just like in India. Yes, there is a case of monsoon also, and you know it also that because of the southwest monsoon, the Chhattisgarh is getting a maximum amount of rainfall. What do you mean by monsoon? Monsoon means the wind which change the wind would change its position with respect to the season, or the seasonal drift in the direction of wind is known as monsoon. And because the Chhattisgarh is also getting a maximum rainfall from the southwest monsoon, like this, my dear, I see here the position. This is the southwest monsoon. Chhattisgarh will get maximum amount of rainfall. Maximum amount of rainfall from this southwest monsoon. Here it is what? Southwest monsoon. This is the reason you are using another word in between these two, tropic and climate. What you are using? Tropical monsoon climate. Yes. So what is the actual climate of Chhattisgarh? Actual climate of Chhattisgarh? Then your answer should be what? Your answer should be the actual climate of Chhattisgarh having a name tropical monsoon climate. Why? Because in Chhattisgarh also the monsoon, that is the southwest monsoon, change its position with respect to the change in the season. Okay, that's why there is a fact. The climate of Chhattisgarh is what? Tropical monsoon climate. Now, if someone asks to you, sir, how will you locate then the Chhattisgarh? Because right now you are giving the answer that what is the climate of Chhattisgarh? The answer is tropical monsoon climate. Now there is no such doubt in our mind why this fact is using, especially at the time of writing the answer with respect to the climate of Chhattisgarh. Answer is what? Tropical monsoon climate. Sir, one more thing, please clear us. How will you locate actually the Chhattisgarh? Now to locate actually the Chhattisgarh, we need the coordinates just like this, x and y axis. And these coordinates are nothing, my dear, but the latitude and longitude. So these are the latitudes which are parallel to the equator. Now I have to draw the longitude also, which are in between the two poles, North Pole and South Pole. See here, I am going to draw here North Pole and South Pole. Here it is, North Pole, and this one is what? South Pole. The value is what? 90-degree, my dear. Value is what? 90-degree. Now you have to join this North Pole and South Pole by an imaginary lines. Join it. Here is the imaginary line I am going to draw. Another imaginary line you have to draw here. So these imaginary lines having a name longitude, my dear. What is the name? Name is what? Longitude. These all are what? Longitude. Now, let's come with me to locate your Chhattisgarh. See the position. See, now it becomes easy to locate it. The first one, in which hemisphere your Chhattisgarh lies? Your answer should be Chhattisgarh lies in northern hemisphere. Why? Because it is north to the equator. It is north to the equator. So your answer should be what? Chhattisgarh lies in northern hemisphere. First one. Second. Second. Now, what are the latitudinal and longitudinal extension of Chhattisgarh? What are the latitudinal and longitudinal extension of Chhattisgarh? To locate it. See, again I'm going to draw another diagram in a bigger way. Draw your Chhattisgarh like this, my dear. Here it is, your Chhattisgarh. Approximately like this. You have to draw your Chhattisgarh. Here it is. Okay. Now, I have to locate it with respect to the latitude and longitude. So latitude and longitudes are what? See, latitudes are the horizontal line, imaginary lines parallel to the equator, and longitudes are again the imaginary line joining the two poles, North Pole and South Pole. Okay, it's also having a degrees, and these degrees are with respect to the falling of sun rays. So don't have to worry about it. Okay, how we have to measure the angle, because there will be no such question in your examination that why and how will you calculate this 23 degree and a half north, 23 degree and south. How will you calculate? There will be no such question. You have to just remember it. It's all because of the falling of sun rays, my dear, the angle it forms. Okay, now see here. That's it. Please see here. Longitudes are what? These all are also what? Imaginary lines. Now with the help of these two lines, latitude and longitude, I am going to locate my Chhattisgarh. See, how will you locate it? Firstly, draw a latitude here from the bottom of the Chhattisgarh, one latitude, and another latitude to the top of the Chhattisgarh, like this. Here it is the two latitude parallel to the equator. Now what is the value of it? The value of this latitude is, my dear, 17 degree 46 minute north. Why I am writing a north? Because we are in northern hemisphere. Here, northern hemisphere, not to the equator. That's why there is an abbreviation. And okay, till what is the maximum latitudinal position? Then the maximum latitudinal position is 25 degree, sorry, 24. 24 degree or 24 degree 5 minute. Sorry. The abbreviation should be what? North. Why am I using a north? Again, if question arises in your mind, then your answer should be, I am using a north because it is in northern hemisphere, beta. Because it is in northern hemisphere, not to the equator. Okay, not to the equator. So what is the value of latitude? The value of latitude is what? From 17 degree 46 minute north to 24 degree 5 minute north. Now again, I'm going to draw a longitude because it is a requirement to locate your Chhattisgarh. Okay, now see here, longitude means these lines. In the same manner I'm going to draw Here it is longitude, my dear. Approximately draw like this. Draw like this. These are the longitude. Now, what is the value of this longitude? The value of this longitude is 80 degree 80 degree 15 minute east. Please concentrate here what actually the abbreviation I am using. I am using the abbreviation as 80 degree 15 minute east. Now what is the reason behind it? I am using E for the east. See here, this Chhattisgarh actually lies in eastern side of the prime meridian of this longitude, passing through the Greenwich, an astronomical lab of Britain, my dear, somewhere here. Somewhere here you may get a Britain. Here, Greenwich, an astronomical lab is there, from which you can draw an imaginary line having a name prime meridian, and the value is what? 0 degree. 0 degree longitude. And from this 0 degree longitude, Chhattisgarh lies towards the eastern side. Towards the eastern sides. That's why you have to use an abbreviation E. Okay? Now, the value of this is was the value of this easternmost longitude of Chhattisgarh is 84 degree 25 minute east, my dear. 84 degree 25 minute again east. Now it's all about the N and E. and I'm thinking that there will be no such doubt in your mind, sir, why you are using E and why you are using N. Okay, so here it is the position of the Chhattisgarh with respect to latitude and longitude. So the answer should be what? If someone asks to you, give me the latitude position. Latitude position of Chhattisgarh is what? See here, 17 degree 46 minute north to this one, 24 degree 5 minute north. Now another one is what? Longitude position. Longitude position is what? From 80 degree 15 minute east, 80 degree 15 minute east to 84 degree 25 minute east. So this should be the answer. And maximum time, they have already asked about this latitudinal and longitudinal question, that which one is correct among the given option. They have asked many of the time. Okay, so please note it down, latitude and longitude position of the Chhattisgarh, my dear. Now see here again, Tropic of Cancer is passing through the Chhattisgarh uppermost part. So I'm going to draw the same one. I'm going to draw the same one, my dear. Here it is, Tropic of Cancer. The value of Tropic of Cancer is what? 23 degree 1/2 north. Okay, the name is what? Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer. And one more thing, I'm going to draw an important longitude also, my dear. passing through exact from the midpoint of Chhattisgarh, and it is known as IST, Indian Standard Time. Here, almost from midpoint, almost. Approximately, you can draw like this. Or, okay. And the value of this longitude is 82 degree and half, but considered to be east because it is eastern side to this Greenwich astronomical lab of Britain, eastern side of it. That's why abbreviation is what? E. So this one is what? It is the important longitude, my dear. IST, Indian Standard Time. IST. So what is the importance of this IST? The importance of this IST, Indian Standard Time, is that it provides us a time zone. It provides us what? Time zone. The same what actually the Tropic of Cancer is providing us. The Tropic of Cancer is providing us about the climatic information. And what actually the climate of Chhattisgarh? The climate of Chhattisgarh is what? Tropical monsoon climate. Given by the position of what? This Tropic of Cancer and Equator and Tropic of Capricorn, because Chhattisgarh lies in between it. In the same manner, this IST, Indian Standard Time, which actually a longitude, it provides us the information about a one time zone. And we have that time zone, my dear. If someone asks to you, how much far away, see here again, how much far away this Chhattisgarh from this Britain Astronomical Lab, from Greenwich Mean Time? Then your answer should be approximately 5 hours 30 minutes. And this is the reason, my dear, whenever you will have a kind of any setting in your watch, especially a digital watch, you will see a kind of one option. What kind of option you may see? See here, IST means you will get this kind of option. IST means Indian Standard Time is equal to GMT. GMT, that is Greenwich Mean Time of Astronomical Lab within the Britain itself. How much far away? 5 hours 30 minutes far away. So that much you have to add, my dear. 5 hours 30 minutes you have to add from the time of Britain. Then you will get the time in your Chhattisgarh. See the importance, the beauty of this IST. The beauty of this IST is this, that it provides you about the time zone information of it. Okay. And in this manner, you can locate your Chhattisgarh, my dear. One more thing. If you will see around the Chhattisgarh, the boundary of the Chhattisgarh, you will get the data about the neighboring states. What I'm saying about the neighboring states. Then the data are this Chhattisgarh covered by the 7 states. The northernmost, you will get what? See here, my dear. What I'm saying. Here it is your Chhattisgarh. And it surrounded by the 7 states throughout its geographical boundary. In the uppermost part, you may get what? UP. From here, means here it is the northern part. And from northeast, you may get what? Jharkhand. Then from Jharkhand to this part, approximately you may get what? Orissa. Then Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, then here it is what? Maharashtra, and this one is your MP. See dear, the name of the neighboring states. 7 states are there. UP in the northern part, in northeast, Jharkhand, then continues with the Orissa state, then Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh. So, what kind of a conclusion you may get? You may get a conclusion from this diagram is that Chhattisgarh is a landlocked state. Landlocked state. Sir, what do you mean by a landlocked state? Landlocked state means the whole Chhattisgarh state is surrounded by a different neighboring state. There is no as such connection with the international boundaries, even though there is no as such connection with any kind of sea route. That's why this Chhattisgarh is known as a landlocked state. Sir, then what are the consequences of being a landlocked state? Then the consequences are having in a field of economy, my dear. What kind of consequences? See here, to do any kind of economic work, especially for trading purpose, we have only two routes. And what are those two routes? Because of being a landlocked state, we have only two routes, my dear. One is air route or airways to do any kind of transportation for the commercial purpose or for the domestic purpose. And second one is what? Highways or roadways. But we don't have seaways or sea routes, and this is the biggest loss with us. Because of not having a connection with the sea directly to the Bay of Bengal or to the Hind Mahasagar or to the Arab Sagar, we are facing a problem for export and import via sea routes. So we have to totally depends on our neighboring states. And this is the loss for us, my dear, and nothing else. Even though because of having a location far away from the sea route, one more effect we have in our climate of Chhattisgarh. Now, what is that effect? I know it. You are asking a question. See, the last concept I'm giving you, the today's last question. So first of all, draw a map of our India. Here it is, India. This one is your Rajasthan part. Here it is your Gujarat, my dear. Then draw southern part like this. Approximately you can draw like this. Okay, here it is your India. Here. Now within the India, you know it that Chhattisgarh lies or situated in a central part. So draw somewhere here the Chhattisgarh. Approximately here it is the Chhattisgarh. Okay. Now here you will get Bay of Bengal, Bay of Bengal. Here you will get what? Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean. And here Arabian Sea. Now please have your concentration towards this one. This is the last concept I am giving you in today's lecture. Being a position of Chhattisgarh within the central part of India, as well as far away from this Bay of Bengal, approximately 500 kilometers. So what is the effect of it? The effect of it is this: Chhattisgarh having no sea mean effect. No sea mean effect. So what do you mean by this having no sea mean effect? It means in summer we have maximum temperature, and in winter we have extreme coldness. If you are getting an extreme coldness in winter and extreme temperature in summer, means you don't have a no sea mean effect, because the states, especially Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, which are known as what? Coastal states, they have the effect of sea. Means they don't have the extreme condition of hotness and extreme condition of coldness because of the position nearby to the Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, or Arabian Sea. Because there is a one scientific reason, you know it, that water having a one scientific reason that it may arises its temperature fast and loses its temperature also fast with respect to the land one. This is the reason, my dear. Whenever there is a land breeze or sea breeze, means air coming from the land side or the sea side, will shows the sea mean effect only in the states nearby to the this Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, or Indian Ocean. But as our Chhattisgarh is far away from these coastal states, that's why we don't have any kind of effect of sea. That's why we are saying no sea mean effect. Means we'll get an extreme condition of temperature and extreme condition of coldness. So this is all about the position of Chhattisgarh, my dear. And it is the same manner I'll deal you each and every concept to the students from the authentic source throughout in English, so that you should not face any kind of problem, especially for writing in your mains examination. Because if you will opt for a bilingual classes, so it may be good for one day examination, but think about the mains examination. At that time you have to write down the answer, especially in English language. And that's why I'm saying to the students of English medium, come and join us, because I'm providing with the solution. Okay, so it's all about today's lecture. We'll meet you again, my dear. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Chhattisgarh.